Batcave, one of the most famous comic book settings of all time. Batman's underground lair is truly a sight to behold. The giant computers, the large vehicles, and the overall atmosphere makes it one of the most easily recognizable settings in fiction. However, just because it is wildly recognizable, that doesn't mean that writers should copy it time after time again. And since the background and scenery of my videos have changed, I figured why not talk about how writers should change this constant copying of the Caped Crusader's lair. Which, by the way, what do you guys think of this? Let me know in the comments. And I don't know about you, but I specifically really like this part right here. This little. Maybe you should do as it says, perhaps. Anyways, now there are plenty of examples that I could use involving people absolutely copying the Batcave, but the most recent and relevant example that I can think of is from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Halfway through the movie, the three main characters go and meet Aunt May, only to discover that Peter Parker, the previous Spider-Man, built an underground cave full of different spider suits, the old Spider-Mobile, and so on. Here, the three heroes that we've met so far meet a few more to help them in their journey. However, even though the movie is incredible, the inclusion of this different setting is completely unnecessary. Truthfully, the entire scene that the Spider Cave takes place in is only really there to introduce a few characters? Well, if that's the case, then why go with the Batcave copycat? And that's the main issue a lot of these movies have when going for this trope. When introducing a Batcave replication like in Spider-Verse, it immediately makes you think of Batman and takes you out of the story for a bit. The inclusion of the Batcave copycat never feels as though it is really needed. It's not really there to enhance the story. It just makes you think of someone else from another story. Like, say for example, you're watching a movie. Everything is going along nice and steady and you're liking the movie. But then out of nowhere you hear the line,
"I am your father."
Now you're not really thinking about how entertained and invested you are in the story, you're just thinking about Star Wars. Same idea for the Batcave, but instead of it just being one line that you can easily look past, like, "I am your father," it's an entire setting. A setting that the story will take place in for at least a few minutes. So even if it's meant to be a parody or a joke, that joke really just honestly constantly reminds you of Batman. And I know that it might seem a little weird for me to hate on the Batcave trope specifically. I could just name this video Why Writers Should Stop Copying Things, and all of my points so far would still make sense and would probably still be valid. So why go specifically after the Batcave? Well, that's because when people copy the Batcave, there's a little extra spice of annoying to it, which is all the weird problems the Batcave already has. Like, if you really think about it, the Batcave should not be a secret at all. I mean, Bruce Wayne would have to find a cave, find an entrance or multiple entrances, depending on the continuity, from Wayne Manor to the cave, get his big-ass Batmobile into the cave, create an entrance into it for said big-ass Batmobile, bring in advanced technology from the fields of medical, engineering, physics, and so on, weaponry that is more advanced than even the military has at the time, and bring in these massive trophies like the giant penny and the dinosaur statue without anyone noticing. Now, I know a lot of these problems can sort of be looked over in the continuity of DC Comics because Bruce Wayne is both really rich and really intelligent. He could just pay someone off or hack the system to disguise his credit cards so that they don't get linked back to him. However, when someone else is using the example of the Batcave, typically it doesn't make any freaking sense in the continuity. Unless the hero in that universe is as rich as Bruce Wayne, he shouldn't be able to make a giant Batcave copycat. Like, let's look back into the Spider-Verse, for example. As far as I know, Peter Parker is still working at the low-level jobs that he is known for, like I don't know, the Daily Bugle photographer or common pizza delivery boy. He is surely no billionaire. So how in the hell did he create such a place underneath Aunt May's house that would cost millions and millions of dollars? The scene in which the spider cave takes place in is supposed to come off as an emotional and powerful scene, a scene in which the main character Miles feels doubt and is unsure about whether he's meant to be Spider-Man or not. But the setting of the scene kind of takes away the impact a little bit. At least in my personal experience, all I'm thinking about is you guys are in a Batcave. If there was anywhere Spider-Man would train to become Spider-Man, it's in there. So instead of being unsure about yourself, why don't you guys freaking teach him how to be Spider-Man? Copying the Batcave just comes off as someone copying Batman. It comes off as not making any sense unless the hero is practically Batman in that universe, or at least as rich as Batman. And honestly, it just comes off as lazy and unoriginal. Instead of coming up with a clever and original setting that would actually make sense, replicating the Batcave is just that. It's copying, it's replicating someone else's work. It's just not original, and at the end of the day, don't you want your story to be original? Why should I as a viewer watch your creation if you're just gonna copy someone else? If I could just go and watch a Batman movie because that's the original Batcave. So writers, for the love of God, please stop copying Batman and the Batcave. Anyways, that's gonna have to be the end of this video here. Did you guys like it? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more of my over-analytic and dorky content, why not check out this video here? And while you're staring at this outro screen, why not click this little subscribe button? Anyways, hope you have a good day, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye! Yo.